Hey guys, Bob here. So you may have watched my video from a few days ago about Disney potentially ending 4K Blu-ray releases of their catalog live-action titles. Disney has released a statement. For this is the source I'm using here is Forbes magazine. One of their writers reached out to Disney and asked them about this, and this is the response he got. There are no plans to discontinue releases in a particular format. We evaluate each release on a case-by-case basis and pursue the best strategy to bring our content into consumer homes across platforms that meet a variety of demands. He said that the person instructed him to just leave it as a Disney spokesperson said. But there's a lot that can be read into that statement. It says there are no plans to discontinue releases in a particular format. We knew they were still going to release 4K Blu-rays anyway, because they were still going to release particular catalog titles such as Pixar films or animated films, and they were going to release new live action stuff, new Marvel, new Star Wars, that sort of thing. But it doesn't really say that in here that there's going to keep releasing catalog titles. It just says there are no plans to discontinue releases in a particular format. Well, they aren't. We're still going to get the new releases and the animated and Pixar and the Star Wars, Marvel, and so on and so forth. Another way to look at this is that it's truly going to be a case-by-case basis, and that we're just going to be getting releases few and far between. It's like we've got Hocus Pocus coming up, and then we've got Home Alone coming up, and then there isn't anything planned after that as of now. But that doesn't mean, sometime, say, in March, we might not get a 20th Century Fox title, or next summer. I guarantee you, when it gets close to time for Avatar 2 to come out, the first Avatar will be released on the 4K Blu-ray format. I just about bet on it. I would be very surprised if it's not. And that's kind of what I take away from this is, if I were to bet, we're going to get some releases. They're going to be few and far between. They're not going to be like a lot of the other studios have been releasing their catalog titles. I think we're going to get a few of them here and there. It is kind of funny that the spokesperson didn't want to be identified, but the John Archer is the contributor who posted the article to Forbes. He says that he has contacts in Disney and that this is from one of them, and I have no reason to assume that otherwise. But I hope that's as clear as mud, because I honestly, I couldn't tell you for sure what's going to happen. If I were to bet, we'll get a few releases here and there, but I don't foresee it becoming the common thing. It could just be that the releases that they're referring to are going to be the new live-action releases of Star Wars or Marvel, or even the animated films that they said they will continue to release catalog titles for. I don't know. But it's hard to say. I have Lion King, Little Mermaid, and Beauty and the Beast animated on 4K. And while the resolution on those, you don't get any more detail. What you get from the 4K format is the vividness of colors, the texture. It's a lot more vivid. And that alone, for some fans, it's worth the purchase. However, there are instances, especially when you drop back onto the regular 1080p Blu-ray, where these things have been remastered and been scrubbed, and you lose some of the detail in the original drawings. That's where your CAV laser discs come in for people like me that still collect that format. Where, especially because the CAV Laserdisc, you can literally look at every individual frame, which is a very nice trick feature. But in the end, this release was nice. It kind of gives us hope, but we really don't know for sure what's going to happen. I mean, it's easy to understand why the conclusions could have been jumped to. Disney doesn't do the Dolby Vision thing anymore, and let's face it, a lot of their audio has not been as good as we would have hoped it would have been. But fingers crossed that if we do just start getting few releases, that the time and energy and ultimately the money is spent to make the releases that we do get top notch. And if that's what happens, I'm all for that, because I firmly believe that the 4K format in general is the best way to watch a movie. It gets you the closest to how it originally looked, especially if you're taking an old 35mm print and it's been transferred to 4K Blu-ray. They look, generally speaking, I mean, there are instances where the DNR and all that stuff scrubbed away the details, but generally speaking, those look amazing. And I truly hope that if we do get a few of them, that we get the quality and that they're worth waiting for. That's all I've really got for this video. I just kind of came across this news story and I wanted to touch upon it since I had talked about it. And of course, Warner Brothers having the massive layoffs. Well, if there's any updates in that area or any more news this way, I will pass it along as soon as I come across it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Please consider subscribing to this channel. I try to have new content daily. It doesn't always work that way. My internet in Northwest Missouri is not the best in the world. Follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Just search for Bob the Film Guy. And for now, this is Bob, signing off.